anyway, I had to go to county lockup 30 days, and I got out, and my friends, like any good military friend should do, said, you want to like pay rent or get food? No, let's throw a party and invite whores and have a gangbang. Just splice all the other ones together.
I should, man. Hey, welcome back to Four for the Road, everybody. I'm your host, Punk Rock, and we got Gangbang Dave, who is becoming increasingly upset with our recording software, requiring so much internet connectivity to actually be able to record a podcast. We've been trying to get this thing to work for like 25 fucking minutes now.
Dude, we could have been over by now. We could have been over by now.
Right? We could have had it.
That's why we changed it to try this bullshit again, Dave.
Yeah, try this bullshit again, Dave. You know, and we had a good run going. We were getting ready to talk some shit, I think. I don't know. But we kind of, well, you brought up we're going to talk about some drama today.
Well,
and why we don't talk about it.
Yeah, we were talking about the lack of drama. And, you know, I was thinking about something because I don't know if other people remember this, but there used to be a page, we'll call it like the OG of like biker club related pages talking, I get talking shit about clubs that weren't legitimate in the scene. And for the most part, I think all of us that remember that old Truth Crew page kind of agree. It was like Iron Order Truth Crew, and then it was fucking like with like 10 different iterations of the same name every time somebody shut them down and they came back. But like that was some OG Facebook stuff back in the day. And for the most part, I think everybody that went there, and I feel like everybody in the scene that connected, I guess I don't even think Instagram was around yet at that point, but I feel like everybody that connected at the scene agreed, like, you know, these clubs that they're highlighting on here or these people are fucking leeches of the culture. And I feel we all kind of universally agreed on that. Then they went away, and you've got like your sucker free MCs and your MC 101s and your Four for the Road, who've kind of tried to take more of a history appreciation approach, a general protocol approach, an open dialect and discussion type approach, you know, and that's kind of where we're at now. And then lately, I feel like there's been a lot of pages like popping up that are either trashing other club, which is fine. Like I don't care. I'm not in a club. I find some of it informational. I find some of it humorous. I don't care. Some people obviously do, and that's fine too. But there's been more of them popping up, and that's not the point. Like those pages and the stuff like that, that's not really the point. The point, or maybe they fucking are. I don't know. We'll see where this fucking conversation goes. But the point is like, you know, these pages are popping up. You have Google, you have Instagram, you have obviously Facebook is still here and stuff like that, your news and all that stuff. It feels like the late 80s and the early 90s to maybe the mid 90s in the motorcycle culture MC world again. And I'm not going to put anybody's business on Front Street, but the violence, the club on club fights, shootings, stabbings, all of that shit is probably at a level that we haven't seen since the 90s. And the 90s are fucking wild. Can you imagine if we had the internet or if we had Facebook and Instagram in the 90s? Shoo!
Yeah, we'd probably look a lot more like Australia right now than we would.
But
when it comes to bikers' rights.
Yeah. And I'm not telling you that you shouldn't. Look, if you put on that patch and what you need to do is to go and take care of business in whatever way you deem appropriate, or another club comes after you to take care of business against your club, in no way am I telling you how to handle that. I'm not even commentating on the right or wrong of that. But it is more prevalent, and we're not like I said, we're not putting business on Front Street. All you have to do is do a simple Google search. From the West Coast to the East Coast to the South to, Texas is its own entity. Every area of the United States, there's an example. Weekly, monthly, shit's hot.
Yeah, I take it with a grain of salt too, right? Because the media is going to put their spin on it, but at the end of the day, the action is the action.
Exactly. The media is going to put their spin on it, and they are not going to tell the whole story of what led up to this interaction. And sometimes, you know, it's that old school. We very much in this culture believe in that old school tribal mentality. and an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and some people are just straight up fucking bum gang. They care about the gang. I want to, I want to choose my words carefully here, because people that listen can nitpick what we say, because they have time to formulate a thought on how they want to respond after we've already said it. So it's important to think about what you're saying as you're saying it, or before you say it, et cetera, because somebody's gonna have a lot more time. They can pause, they can go back, they can
write this shit down.
Yeah, and think of a rebuttal. And so it's always going to be that aspect. And I think, some people say, well, it's gang culture or whatever. And I think it was you or somebody else that talked about the positive aspects that can come from somebody coming to the motorcycle club world correctly from a gang mentality or gang lifestyle. Like, I see the parallels there that can make somebody a good brother. The caveat to that being, you 100% have some people that either A, can't leave all of that behind, or B, they're not looking to transition from that life to the motorcycle club life. They're looking to use it as an extension of just being a gangbanger. And that can't be all of what motorcycle club culture is. Some dudes 100% get their rocks off from being a gangbanger, and that's cool. I love that. I'm not here to tell you how to be you. There's dudes with IG handles talking about gangster as fuck 101 on IG or whatever. And that's fine. But there has to be a balance. You can't just be here for the violence. And I think there's probably some people that would disagree with that. I think there's some dudes that are just all about the knuckles and blood. Okay, that's fine. But what else are you doing to be a good brother? What else are you doing to preserve your club's history and promote your club's history? What are you doing to attract new membership? Like, you can pretend like that public image doesn't matter, but it does, because otherwise your club goes away. Do you care about attracting all types of people? That I think is character of different people makes up great clubs, or do you just want people that are all like you? And I think we have a think tank or a platform to discuss that stuff. Again, I would never, and we probably have people that write at For the Road and other pages that would absolutely tell you their opinion is the best way to do it. And I'm not one of those people. But I think a discussion has to be had. Why are we having the fucking amount of violence that we haven't seen in 15 years, 20 years, 25 years? What fucking year is it?
30, man. 30
Dude,
years.
yeah. Like, you talk about like the well-known publicized shit of the 80s and the 90s. We're almost 30 years past that. Even the early 2000s. We all know what happens in the early 2000s. We're almost 20 years past that.
I think a lot of this stuff is coming from shit just boiling over, over time. But I think a lot of it is, and you hear a lot of OGs citing the same complaints, that the young bucks, they're not heeding warnings from the OGs that lived through it, that buried, 10, 15, 20 brothers because of doing some silly shit.
And I guess my rebuttal to that, and I don't think I necessarily need to agree with everything. What I say might not always be how I feel. It's another option I want to throw on the table for you and other people. If I am that young buck that wants to get down like that, and the OG's like, I lived through it, you don't want to go down that road. This is what I've learned, and this is a better path. Let's just say that conversation's happening. This is a better path. But those young dudes that are out there ready to cut their teeth don't want to hear that. They want to be more on the wild side rather than the other stuff. If you hear that older member telling you about their experience in those times, how are you, is there a part of you that's going to be like, yeah, dude, I want to go through that. I want to experience that. That's what I'm down for.
I think there's part of that, it's part of, like, I look up to you, I respect you. I know you did the same shit that I'm trying to do, and I want to be like you. And that's part of it. But I think the other part of it is, times changed. It ain't like that no more. So, like, if I can get in a fight with somebody, that's it. But I mean, 9 times out of 10, that's not it.
Yeah. And
I mean, and like I said, it's these guys not heeding the warnings from the old heads, or for the gray beards, whatever you want to call them. Right. But it's also them just trying to, I don't know, like you said, prove themselves. Maybe you don't give a fuck.
And you're
also seeing a lot more people who were in the gang culture, right? They wanted to get out of that for whatever reason, right? And then they bring that shit to the club culture. It's just like, well,
and you know, I don't.
You do it so long that's second nature to you now. So that's how you fucking respond to things, regardless of the fact that now you're not, you know, now you're representing an entire nation and not just a block, not just.
And two, like I don't wear a diamond. I don't come from a background in gangs, so my opinion is going to be different, or my not my opinion, but my perspective, the lens through which I view current events is going to be different than a diamond holder, is going to be different than somebody that came from a gang culture background. I get that. And we could also argue somebody that's been in the life for a long time might say the shit that's going on now isn't near the level that it was in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, whatever have you. And that might also be true. It's more prevalent now because, like we said in the beginning, you can Google that shit and have access to every single incident that's happened in the last month. And there's been a few.
The bright side is I haven't heard of any car bombs yet, so that's good.
I don't think we can steal C4 as easily from construction sites as we used to be able to. Those things are pretty locked down nowadays.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you need a rag and a lighter, man.
But
I mean, I've heard you only need a rag and a lighter.
But even that, like maybe, you know, the old guys would say, you know, we were quicker with our fists, or, you know, we settled it in bar brawls or at runs or events or whatever have you. And now it's more guns and knives and people don't want to throw fists. I don't know if that's true. I think there's plenty of dudes that are still down to brawl, but I know that argument does exist. And again, on this podcast, it's not just my opinion on how I feel about a topic or how Ken feels about a topic. It's different angles to look at it. Like I said, I would prefer to fist fight, but not everybody's going to think like I do. And I need to understand and respect that. I'm not a diamond holder. How I see the violence is going to be, or the conflict, let's call it conflicts, is going to be different than how they see the conflicts. And I understand that. This is merely meant to be a conversation platform, which, you know, kind of switching gears, but hopefully I can bring it together without rambling. Platforms, like this is a platform.
Yeah.
4 for the Road is a platform. Sucker Free MC is a platform. Your IG, anybody's, is a platform. And I think there has to be, you can say, well, I don't give a fuck about this, and who cares what other people think, and who cares about what they say, or this person says, or this page published. Like, who cares about any of that? I don't pay attention to it. And I get that. And there's definitely truth in that. But I also think there's a responsibility, if you're going to use your platform to give an opinion on something, to be responsible with it. And you can, if you want to be as wild as fuck with your opinion, and I don't know, you want to be on Sucker Free and call people racist, that's fine. But if there's consequences from that, you have to accept that because you put it on your platform. So no matter big or small, if you have a platform, I think you do need to be a little bit responsible, or at least cognizant of what you're putting on it, and what the good or bad could be from that.
Well, I mean, so with stuff like using other platforms as an example, a lot of them write behind pen names, and that's not a shot. You know, that's just reality. You know,
we have dudes that use pen names, and I get that.
We used to, right? I mean, I still go by punk rock, right? Like that's now apparently like my fucking nickname now. It's just a thing. But like I post my face on the Instagram. I do lives. I
put my address and phone number on there. If you don't like something I said, call me.
That's the second time, ladies and gentlemen. Second time I've seen him post his fucking address and cell phone number. And neither time did the dude fucking run up or respond in kind. But, you know, back to my point. But it kind of shields them from that. And I noticed that a little bit as well when we were working on the other page, is that you kind of had that license to say whatever the fuck you wanted to because nobody knew. Yeah. Right. Every now and then there might be a fucking gym.
I'll say as the
like
internet,
that's few and far between, and it gets.
I feel like as the internet has expanded, though, dudes are really good with what they can do with a little bit of information. And it's also like you think you're anonymous, and the next minute people have like your IP, your home address, your mail, your PO box that you set up, your club nickname. They got like they know your kid's name. Like dudes are
yeah. I mean, like there was that dude who was running their mouth to a mutual friend of ours, talking about threatening his family and stuff like that. And I sent him, because he lives in a different state, and I'm not gonna fucking ride like 4,500 miles or wherever the fuck it is, however far it is in that direction. I sent him 4 pounds of finely shaved glitter that was doused in that fart scent, and then like as soon as he opens the box, it's got like that fan that blows it all over the place.
Yeah.
And like you said, that was just a cursory Google search, and 20 minutes later I had his address.
No.
I mean, by the way, that was the best $60 I ever spent in my life.
And so, I kind of wondered too, like, we started off talking about something like the Iron Order Truth Crew and how they used to like, they used to put a spotlight on dudes that weren't legit, or clubs that were just fucking up the scene, or dudes that were club hopping and stuff like that. And I don't ever want to do that. That's not my lane. I don't think I'm high enough on the pecking order of clubs at all, since I don't wear a patch anymore, to like even begin to like be judge, jury, and executioner. I know what I don't like. I know it's not tolerated in my territory, but does that mean that's a universal thing? No. So I don't want to go down that route with 4 for the road. If somebody else did, then that's what they choose to publish on their time. But the fact, those pages, like I said, they're popping up probably more frequently than we've seen in the last. Again, I'm getting fucking old. I forget how old Iron Order Truth Crew was, but let's say it's been 10 years. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but let's just say it's been 10 years. The amount of pages that have popped up in the last few months compared to like what it was back then. And I wonder, do they serve a purpose? Maybe they do. It's probably good information for people to have. Does it cause more chaos or violence in the community? I don't have the answers for that. Are people more aware of what's going on? Maybe. Are they telling the truth? That is subjective. I guess if you're the club that they're exposing or whatever, then you probably have your side of the story. If you're another club in the community and you believe that, then you probably think that they have their facts dead on. And I think the rest of us are somewhere somewhere in the middle, trying to just form an opinion, and B, shouldn't get in the middle of it at fucking all. like if you're not part of club A or B, or somehow related to that beef or that drama, internet or not, the best thing you can do is go about your merry fucking way in a different direction, because we have seen very real that stuff can spill over into real life. And it is. And again, in no way would I let or want 4 for the road to put somebody's business on Front Street like that. Other writers might, and that's, again, their prerogative, but I don't want to. And I'm not going to. You can simply Google motorcycle violence, and you'll get US shit within the last week. Multiple incidents. And that's where we're at. And to me, it seems like, my opinion, it seems like a crazy time to be wearing a patch. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just like, it's a chaotic time. And obviously those times, they come and they go, and they ebb and they flow.
See, for me, I just I'm not really a violent guy, like I'd rather sit down and talk to you about why you have a fucking problem with me.
But if the other guy doesn't agree with you, if the other guy doesn't want to, and he just shoots you, you're still a statistic. Now we can be like, damn, man.
Yeah, like I don't want to end up on a t-shirt either. You know what I'm saying? but like, for me, like I'm saying, for me, like I'm not gonna approach you with violence off rip. Like I'm gonna sit down and be like, hey, bro, look, like I don't know if this is a misconception or if I heard something wrong or whatever. I want to hear from you, because you were the person who I was told said it or did it or whatever. What's going on?
So let me caveat to you on that.
That.
Let me throw you a question then out of that.
Sorry, go ahead.
So we talked about the media. And the media, nothing is all good, nothing is all bad. I think the media in some forms, whether that's the news, whether that's other internet pages, whatever, I think that some of them don't acknowledge the fact that they have a responsibility to report things objectively. And so does the media make it worse with the way they report incidents, fights, violence, whatever you want to call it, between clubs, when I feel like they paint it too broad. They use a very wide scope, usually, to describe this violence, and it makes it almost seem like it's everybody. Or if they talk about a specific club, they make it seem like it's everybody in that club. And I would still argue that while we seem to see more conflict than we have in a long time, it is still a small microcosm of the amount of dudes that are wearing patches. Even in the clubs that are having conflict, if you look at their membership numbers and the amount of incidents that they're fucking in, I mean, it's like a COVID debate.
Yeah,
I'm being stupid, but the numbers are small. The chances are still small, but we've said it before. It's fucking sexy to pick up on this and publish it, and you're going to get a lot of clicks on your news site. And for you, do you think that internet pages, which ones we don't like, and regular news companies, do they have a responsibility to report more accurately, to follow up? Like, should they do more in-depth investigations? Like, what the fuck is the answer other than this broad stroke? So
I'm going to do my best to keep this short, because this is something that I'm really passionate about.
You can talk. We're only at 20 minutes. Talk.
Yeah, we're only at 20 minutes. Fuck it. Here's my 40-minute rant. No, absolutely. I think we all, if people are looking at you for information and or education, talk about Four for the Road, talk about any other protocol, history, tradition site out there, the news media, the mainstream media, even the non-mainstream guys, you have a responsibility to properly educate people on what's actually the standard, what's actually going on.
Hang on, wait. Wait. Before you ramble, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
I hate the phrase education, and I know that there are dudes that don't wear patches that are getting an education from learning from people that are in clubs that come on Four for the Road, Sucker Free, MC 101, whatever that, and there's education that takes place.
Yes.
I hate that because it makes me feel, and just me, it makes me feel pretentious. I just like a free flow of ideas. Like, I want to say I want to talk about a topic that I'm passionate about.
You're saying that, like, you're not we're not professors, no pun intended with Professor Blade, but like, we're not like qualified experts to give this information. That's not what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So when I say the word educate in relationship to what we do at Four for the Road and what other people do at other sites, it's just a different way of saying things, right? Because I can, you and I have had this happen to us multiple times. You've been trying to tell me something about, like, nah, bro, it's A, B, and C. And I'm saying, nah, man, C is after B and B is after A, but we're saying the same thing. We're just not understanding each other.
No, now get back on your rant.
Yeah, we give our opinion mostly how we speak, right? I mean, I just write how I speak. I don't really fucking like edit that shit. I just kind of run it. But we have that fucking responsibility to give the right information in the right manner without all the fucking buzzwords, because we're representatives of this community. You know, regardless of how you feel about somebody, if they ride once a month or if they ride every fucking day, like, everybody knows there's a person on another site. I tried to fight. I was like, bitch, I'll be at your fucking doorstep in 3 days. And I was there, but he wouldn't unlock his fucking gate. Even though I don't respect him, he still has people that come over to his platform for education, opinion pieces, whether it's they just want to validate their own opinions by listening to the bullshit that he wants to fucking spew. You know, we still have that responsibility collectively as part of the media that to do this the right fucking way. And unfortunately, what some people believe is the right way isn't lining up with other people. It's why you saw a giant exodus and the creation of Four for the Road and what it is today.
I thought that's because we were all racist.
Well, I'm trying to be the bigger person here. You know, they want to take shots. That's fine. I'm 100% finished with that. He wants to take shots. That's cool, man. He can call me a racist all he fucking wants. He can call me a piece of shit. He can say that I don't fucking ride, whatever. That's cool. You know what? I've fucking ridden on both fucking coasts of this goddamn country. Oh, 3 of them, actually. I've ridden on 3 fucking coasts in this country. And I've ridden with thousands of motherfuckers across this fucking country. So he can go ahead and say that I'm fucking racist. Oh, no. 9. But no, he can fucking run around. He can say I'm a fucking racist. He can say that I don't ride. He can say I don't do this. I don't do that. That's fine. You know, at least
Adolf, you're off topic.
Yeah, I am.
Bring it back
but
on.
at least I'm taking my responsibility seriously in providing decent fucking coverage of whatever the fuck it is here. In a manner where people can understand. I think a common person can understand. We're not trying to use big fucking words and
hey, so do you think that
down to Google later? You know,
hey, do you think that flame? I guess we'll call them flame pages or spotlight pages. That are they just? Again, I don't know the right terms to use here, but are they just in good shit? Are they just in good fun? Are they responsible for? Do they have? Are they? Is some of the burden theirs for the violence that goes on? Was the violence already there, and they're just talking about different things? Are they the reason that it's prolonged? I guess, okay, before you answer, my opinion, I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think that if I say that they're responsible for it, that's giving the internet too much credit, and I hate to do that. I think that people have to be internally responsible, self-responsibilities. They have to be accountable, self-accountability for their own actions. But at the same time, I do think that there's an influence with my generation. I'm 35. Generations, that have come after me, not before me, but after me. So the younger people, I do think there's a part that's influenced by what they see in the media, and internet is the media. And I think that can hype you up. And so I think the answer, I don't have it, but it's somewhere in the middle between yes and no, which I think is like a really it's like a politician thing to say, like yes or no. But again, it's not that I don't have an opinion on it. I don't think that my opinion is what this platform should be about. I don't think I should come on here and be like, look, man, that shit's stupid, and this is why people are getting shot, or whatever the fuck. Like, it should just be a discussion about the responsibility. And hopefully the 5 people that listen to the show will also have that discussion about responsibility. And it's just another thing that the MC community can think about, or maybe nobody thought about. Now we are.
I mean, that's one of the big things that I like about this, is that we can share an opinion piece, or we can share opinion here on this podcast. And it's been really well received for the most part, that like my opinion belongs to me. It doesn't represent the collective of 4 for the Road as a staff, or as individuals, or as their clubs. And it goes for the individuals that are in clubs as well. But to answer your question, my opinion on that is very much it's similar to yours, that is a gray area. So if you're starting up a flame page that just likes to poke fun at fucking everything, and it's lighthearted, it's funny, whatever, cool. But when you're consistently slamming one club, or like 3 clubs, that could be a problem. And I think it really depends on the dynamic between the guy who's in a club running that page, if he is in a club, and the clubs that they're talking about. Outside of that,
so I feel like, I've been like trying to be neutral, right? And like not go opinion based. And I feel like this is going to like set me up to get hassled or whatever. But sometimes, here we go, I'll find a way around it. Sometimes these pages have very accurate and on point information, and they have a viewpoint that I may very strongly agree with, and they're not wrong. But they're highlighting for other trolls and other clubs and everything else, inter-club business. Now, is it, again, it's the internet, so they should just be able to do that? Or is it the responsibility of the club that's getting called out to do better housekeeping and take better care of its members, or get rid of trash members and stuff like that? And again, is the answer somewhere in the fucking middle? You absolutely should be running a tight ship as a club, but No club is perfect. If you think your club is perfect, you're fucking wrong. Like every club has gone through stages where they've done something that they wish they could take back for their club image. And, my club forever, my club is absolutely the way that you should feel. But also now that your club has had mistakes, growing pains, they've tripped up and stuff like that. And maybe they're now the coolest, greatest, most awesomest club in the whole world. And that's so dope. I'm happy for you. But that's never in the history of motorcycle clubs been the entire case forever. And so is it just funny until your club's in the hopper and then it's not funny anymore? Or is it something that everybody should be made aware of all the time? Do we have a right to that information because we're all involved in the motorcycle scene, motorcycle MC clubs, cultures? Or is it none of our fucking business and only that club should be dealing with it?
I really don't think that those kind of pages should exist anyway. Just my personal opinion, like I'm not going to tell anybody that they're fucking wrong or how to fucking do their business. I'm just saying, like, me personally, I would never create one for the simple fact of, or participate on one. Because you don't know who's running that page first off. So we'll start there. I don't know who's running this page, who they're affiliated with, or who they're part of, they belong to. So I don't want to start drama there. B, they shouldn't. I don't understand the want to cause fucking drama. Period. Like, dude, I have enough fucking stress as it is between, I got 2 kids. I got 2 dogs that don't listen. My wife don't listen. My I got a bunch of people at work that don't listen. I don't need that added stress when I'm out here trying to just fucking unwind and enjoy my time.
I think that running a page like that would stress me the hell out. And having people bombard you with stories of what they know in their area, or even factual or made up or picture proof and hard copy evidence and everything else, great. I just think that would be a ton of just not bad karma, but just bad vibes. Like just you're dealing all day long in negative energy from maybe a couple of clubs or who's ever in the spotlight at that moment. Like you're dealing with all this negative energy. And it's even like you look at cop clubs, like it's fun to flame cop clubs. But if that was like my whole existence on a page to like flame these cop clubs, I feel like that would just bring you down mentally to constantly be negative. And maybe I guess you feel like you're doing a good service for the community and you're promoting the virtueness of the MC community. I could get that. But God, running one has to be, like you said, it has to be stressful and just a negative atmosphere. But I will flip on that, differ from you. I like that they're there. I follow them. Sometimes I'll share with other people behind and like talk about, hey, I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
I would never put it on I would never put it on my Facebook or my IG page. I would never put it on For the Road. I would never put it on this podcast. But I do, for me personally, I like that they're there and I like seeing some of the stuff that comes out, even though it's absolutely none of my fucking business. So I'm guilty of it's a soap.
I agree with you. Some of them I agree with you. And by some of them, I don't mean pages, I mean situations. Like what with what's no, I'm not gonna use names.
Yeah, no, but nothing on Front Street. It's just a general. No. Everybody knows what's out there. Everybody knows what's out there.
Myself, shut the fuck up, punk rock. But no, man, I personally, because I have this dumb fucking dream that I know will never happen, that there will be as close to what we could call peace from coast to coast sometime in my lifetime. I know it's a dream. I know it probably won't happen because
even Tragic says you're drunk. And I get, you know what? Maybe you should timestamp that. He probably wouldn't care, but maybe we'll ask him. Timestamp it, then we'll ask him.
All right, go ahead.
Even he said, and not specifically about any clubs, but he just said, I think that when you get a group of men, and I'm going to butcher this quote, but basically when you get a group of men, alpha, high testosterone, high performing, if you want to use the term alpha men or whatever, alpha males, in a group like that and make it tribal, because being in a club with your patch and your colors and your brothers very much is tribal, there's going to be friction. There's always going to be, conflict is never going to go away. And, I think that the optimist and the love flowing hippie part of us might say, well, man, I wish we could just fist fight each other or whatever, but I don't know if that's realistic in 2021 or whatever fucking year it is. But like, I think Tragic, had said once before, like the idea of a group of hard charging, big dick energy dudes in a tribal setting like that is always at some point going to have conflict. What can we do? Not us only for the road, but what can the motorcycle scene do to make it as easy as possible to avoid major blowups? I think that's the best thing that you can hope for, is how to avoid major blowups. And I don't even know if that's possible.
We're not going to, because when you look at it, right, there's the whole, I fucking hate using this kind of way to speak, but like, you have an alpha type personality heavy community. The big blowups come from perceived lack of respect, right? So, and I say perceived, whether
wait. I think you made a great point, and I want to highlight it real quick before you move past it. Lack of respect, showing respect for whatever the norm, the standards might be for the motorcycle club scene, that area, whatever, I think is one of the biggest things that causes this conflict.
100%.
But I think the media wants to spin it like bikers are easy rider and we're all pushing drugs across country, and the fights for territory or bottom rockers or just don't come in my area is because of this empire that people are trying to push. And are some dudes doing that? Sure. There's fucking doctors and accountants that are slinging dope. Is that the majority of the motorcycle club culture and the majority of the reason why dudes get into scraps? No, 100% not. But they don't report that. They're not like, hey, Tommy and Mike just had big dick energy and Tommy stabbed Mike. That'll never show up in a headline.
Like, I've seen fights start over some shit as dumb as two fucking veterans. One dude was a Marine.
Oh, they gay anyway. They should fight.
Well, yeah. Well, they weren't vet clubs. They were just veterans in a club, in two different clubs. But I seen a fight start because this dude was in the Marines, this other dude was in the Air Force, and this dude in the Marines, when he was fucking like 12 years ago, when he was in Iraq or Afghanistan, he was calling for fucking air support or something like that, and the Air Force took like 30 seconds longer than he was expecting. And then when he started running his mouth about the Air Force dude took offense to that. And then some back and forth happened, and then some shit happened. So, like, that's how little this shit can fucking start with.
Yeah.
But back to my point, like, a lot of it started with perceived lack of respect.
Do you as a page, if you're going to, a news outlet, a legitimate, the fucking Wall Street Journal or whatever, mm-hmm. and a page that's going to spotlight this stuff, or a flame page, do you have a responsibility then, if you're going to already publish this stuff, do you have a responsibility to go more into the weeds? And if you do, then, and this is almost going to make me fucking vomit, is Insane Throttle legitimate? Because he will put out some investigative stuff. Now, I think he does it because he can put patches on his little JPEG thing or whatever it's called that shows up on his YouTube, and people want to click on that because they see a recognized patch, and he can use it to sell bullshit, and he can sell his other 99% of his stuff that's bullshit, but he will investigate into the weeds. And is there a need for somebody to do that? I think he is. I hate it, and it makes me want to vomit because I think he's trying to profit off of that. I don't think he's doing it for the good of the community, and that's where I hate it. But is there a need for somebody to do it genuinely?
There's somebody so much like so. That's what I fucking miss about hearing stories about back in the day about new shit, right? Because like now, if you want to hear some shit from the right, you got to go to Fox News. If you want to hear some shit from the left, you go to MSNBC or CNN, right? Like. You pick a fucking direction. That's where you're going to fucking hear what's going to validate your fucking opinion. No. But way back in the fucking day, they didn't have that. There's this dude that just sat there and then read the facts and then let you fucking decide what was right or wrong or whether it was good or bad. And I think that needs to happen with these pages. But am I a fucking paid employee of these fucking pages? Fuck no. I don't make $1 off of this shit. I don't want to drive people to his side or anything like that because he does the same shit. He has opinion pieces. And I know for a fact he's not riding across country to fucking like talk to the dudes involved. He's not talking to people that know the people that were involved or anything like that.
No, he's running freedom of information acts.
He's doing that, right? So he's taking that, and then the pieces that don't line up, he's throwing his fucking opinions in there, or somebody's feeding him some bullshit because like Club A got fucking harassed and a bunch of them got arrested because Club B fucking was just at a bar. And then that caused some fucking drama. So now you got some super supporter from Club A fucking be like, oh no, those Club B dudes, they're fucking paying the cops because none of them were fucking arrested. Okay, cool. So now you're fucking shitting on an entire club with no fucking evidence backing up these fucking claims.
But hang on. Wait, hang on. I think you're doing two different things.
That's fucking good.
No, I think you're doing two different things though. Like, yeah, that's one aspect of it. But what about when he legitimately has evidence or freedom of information, police reports, whatever? And then, yes, you do have the A and B clubs that'll obviously call him, inbox him, email him, whatever. But when he does his investigative thing, let's just say it's legitimate. Put your feelings aside. Let's say he's got legitimate, good information. Okay. Is there a need for that to be published? If all the other shit if everything else is going to exist, should that also be a need? Or is it like where all of it should go away because nobody's business should be put out there because that's just not what the MC culture should be about? But it's not going to go away. So should it exist? Like there's just this paradox. Like there's just this paradigm that we kind of exist in where it's like, what's the right answer?
Right? It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Sure.
And it's hard for me to not separate my opinion from this. Not about him, but about like stuff like that in general. Because like you said, we shouldn't be broadcasting all this bullshit for everybody, right?
Well, so like, and I'm going to say right now, like to look critically at 4 for the Road, I would not have taken part in, and I didn't, the One Man's Trash episode. I think there were some really good points in there, but I think it got, to me anyway, in my opinion, it felt like it got a little bit personal, and that's not what I want to do for 4 for the Road. However, 4 for the Road is a platform with like 12 people on it, and other people that read, follow, listen, whatever, should also be able to give their opinions. And I think that if they want to talk in that format, they should be able to.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I love being about this place is we don't always have to agree. We don't always have to look at things from the same way or think that the same shit's cool or fucking agree. We don't have to agree all the fucking time. And I'm cool with that. And I love that. And I love being part of something that has this free exchange of ideas, because if we don't fucking exchange ideas and actually listen to process what the other person's fucking telling us, we're not growing. And if we stop growing, then our existence is fucking pointless.
No.
But back to your question though, is do I think that there's a need for that? It's kind of a yes and no. I don't believe that we should put business out there like that. We shouldn't be discussing the intricacies of what led up to what the action was and then what the fallout is or what the perceived fallout might be. But at the same time, we do need those pages like that, as long as, to do the right job, that to fulfill that responsibility honorably. Because the media, the mainstream media, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, fucking pick one, they're going to spin it however the fuck they want to spin it. They want to say biker bad, all of them are gang members, fucking run them off the road. But then we have these couple of articles that are ran by bikers, or these couple of sites that are ran by bikers, saying, hey, look, that's not really what happened. Yeah, there was a scrap. You know what? It just happened to be that these two dudes are in motorcycle clubs, but it found, come to find out the scrap was because dude in Club A, his wife was stepping out on him with this dude in Club B. So the fight started over this cheating wife, not because there's fucking territory issues or anything like that.
Well, just some of it, yeah, you're 100% right. And some of it is I wear patch A, you wear patch B. I saw you at a restaurant, bar, gas station, whatever, stoplight, and I hit you over the head with something. I shot you, whatever the case may be. That's also happening. That's not Front Street. That's nobody's, specific club business. That's a
Googleable information.
Yeah. And, should people be talking about that? And, I say No, but pages are going to do it anyway. And then, let's say, here's an example that we can use that everybody knows about. And I'm not going to say the club, you already know the club, but Lil Dave. People have brought him on to their shows or their podcast to give his fucking opinion on whatever he wants. Okay. Now, I don't care what side of the fence you're on with that, but every one of those programs that he's been on is monetized. They're trying to make money from their podcast. And that is the appeal to bring him on. Now, I'm not saying that those podcasts that he's been on are bad. I'm not even giving an opinion on him. It's not my fucking business. Let me say that again. It's not my fucking business. But all of those platforms that he's been on are trying to get you to watch and put something out there that you're going to drive traffic to because they're trying to make money. Now, that might not be their whole livelihood.
Motorcycle culture related.
Yeah, and some of them weren't motorcycle culture.
He's hit a couple of biker shows, but I think out of like 8 that he's been on, like 2, 3 have been like biker shows. The rest are, like I listen to one of them pretty religiously. I'm not gonna fucking put them out there like that though. But it's a Latin culture thing, and it's something that I listen to so I can kind of stay in touch with home because I fucking miss my home. But like, I mean, we shared it in our chat. We were listening to it, and it's just kind of like, man, like these dudes don't even ride, let alone understand their culture. Why the fuck are they doing an interview on it?
Hang on, I don't know.
My personal opinion here. Lil Dave was running around trying to get anybody to fucking listen that would listen, because chances are, just like me, this white boy from Dago, chances are there's going to be a biker or two that listens to this podcast or this radio show or whatever.
And put him aside. His situation is what it is, and people can have opinions on that, and that's great. Now let's exit him from the conversation. But using that example, those podcasts, again, are trying to make money, and that is a scenario, situation, drama, whatever, that is going to create revenue for them. And so I get why even non-biker related content, even, that might be somehow, there's a cross connection to the culture, to those other ones he's been on. I can see why they want to bring something like that on their shows. And I get that. And so I guess it's hard to say, okay, and certainly I have no position to do it, but I can't go, okay, this site is legitimate, this site is bad, this site is good, this site is bad. Like, I've said before, there's dudes that I don't know if they still are, but there's dudes that were on Sucker Free that I thought were really good dudes. Like, Preach was my only issue and stuff like that. Same thing with like MC 101. I really liked the platform where people could share ideas on that platform. I just didn't like 1 or 2 people that were on there. And so I would never group that in. And I think it's the same thing with these pages. There's some pages that I enjoy, and I think there's some that are kind of trash. But if you're going to let one section exist, do you need to let them all exist? And we're not going to they can exist anyway. We're not going to start shutting them down. But I guess if anybody listens to this that's doing that other shit, I don't know. I guess think about the responsibility that you have, and if you feel that your responsibility is to put business on Front Street so that other clubs are aware of the nonsense and the bad eggs and the bullshit, okay, fine. If you think that your responsibility is to not do that and maybe you don't want to promote that kind of stuff anymore, then I could certainly understand and respect that too.
I think if you're again, just personal opinion here, if you're going to do something like that, if you're going to report on current events that are going on in the motorcycle club culture, you have an extremely important and fragile duty to make it 100% non-bias, given just the facts that the public needs to know. You don't need to put everybody's fucking business out there. I don't need to know where this dude fucking lives. I don't give a fuck what his wife's name was. I don't care about any of that. Stick to the fucking facts of the incident. And that's it. Yeah, don't give me your opinion on it. I don't care about your opinion. And that's why I don't watch mainstream news anymore anyway.
And I think
I got to look at fucking 7, 8, 10 fucking news sites before I can form a actual opinion on something. Be that neutral motherfucker that just says, hey, dude got stabbed at this bar. Don't know why. Fucking, Here we go. Don't try to connect the fucking dots on your own, looking like old boy from It's Always Sunny, right? Just cracked out of your fucking house in your basement.
Yeah, I mean, like some of that information that they put out is good information to have.
Yes, I will agree.
Sometimes the community needs, I don't know, needs to know, but the community can know if you're a club that's going to have law enforcement in it. Now, without giving you my opinion, don't do it on having cops in your club. That's a huge debate that I think people will always say, well, Club A had this in their club up until 2000 and whatever, and Club B did this, and Club C did that. And okay, we got that. Right now, kind of the current thing is that it's not an accepted practice. Tomorrow, that could fucking change because that's the history of culture. You don't have to like it, but the history of MC culture has always been evolving and changing, and we don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. But right now, most people say don't have cops in your club, okay? And so if you do, that might be good information for the community to know. I'm not going to talk shit about your club, at least on this podcast, but I might not go to that party anymore, or might stop associating with that club or whatever. I mean, there's clubs that have cops, and there's LE clubs and shit like that. Go join one of those and do your thing. But sometimes I'm happy to have that information. But if you're using it to incite violence, to keep fights and stuff going, to keep shooting, stabbings, brawls, whatever up, that I have a problem with. And who's to say where the line is? I'm not the expert. Oh, well, I didn't mean for you guys to get in a fight when I put out that information. I just wanted the public to be aware. Okay, that's where I would.
And that's why it's easier just to stay away from all that shit.
Yeah, because I would look fucking stupid trying to say.
As far as I'll agree with you there. I think there should be almost like sex offenders, man. If you got cops in your club, we need to know about it. There's a registry.
I don't know that I would necessarily. I mean, I don't like cops, but pedophiles is a bit much. But okay, fine. There's a registry.
Hey man, I'm worried about I fear for the safety of my dog. Okay. But, but no, I think, okay, cool. Stuff like that. I can side with you on there. Hey, did you know that fucking club A, B, and C, they have fucking cops in the club? Cool. Now you got to take a step back. What's different? What defines a cop? Because if you ask some guys, right? Some people, they say, oh, no, correctional officers aren't cops. Because they just work in the jail. They can't go out in town and arrest anybody. So it's okay, cool. You have to have arresting powers for this specific individual in this specific club to qualify as a cop. Other people, they don't give a fuck. A badge is a badge. Oh, you're a fucking armed security guard with a duty to report. Thanks for your support, man, but get the fuck out. There's other people like that. Where do you draw the line there? What do you call a cop? And then I know motherfuckers that go so far as to say like a badge is a badge that they won't allow firefighters in their club because in their dress uniform they wear a badge. And it's just like what we said to preach. I have my values and who I want to kick it with, and your club values and what your bylaws allow is all that matters for you. And if I don't like how you see the world, I'm not going to seek membership or hang around or support your club. I want to move it down the road until I find that fit that aligns with me, whether that's supporting or being a part of or whatever. I'm going to keep it moving until I find what I like and where I fit in and where I gel at and like the atmosphere. If you don't like people of a certain color, fine. If you don't like firefighters, fine. It doesn't bother me a bit what your requirements are. And I mean, that's kind of off topic from what we're talking about, but that's just, again, it's kind of a follow-up to that. Like, I don't give a shit what your requirements are. You shouldn't change them for anything unless it's a club vote to change something. Other than that, do you? Yeah, there's definitely things that need to be updated from time to time. But really, do they? If they're working for the fucking club?
If the body doesn't want change, then no, they don't. If the body wants change, then yes, there needs to be a look. But until then, no.
I love your point of view on it. Be like, hey man, like I'm not going to tell you what to fucking do. I don't agree with it, so I'm just not going to fuck with you.
And again, we're off topic. But maybe we're on topic because we get people, and I've seen them in the inbox on the page, other pages, on Flame pages, that they didn't like something about the club that they were in. And they thought that the club should either change for them or accept whatever their position was instead of the club as a whole. The club as a whole is bigger than you. And they couldn't accept that. And so what they did is they left, they started a revenge club, and some, there's splinter clubs out there that are legitimate. I'm not bad mouthing all spin-off clubs or whatever the fucking term is, but they got out there and they kept bad mouthing that club. And all of a sudden they brought an issue to a new club that they joined, or created this club to cause issues, or whatever the case may be. And now we have problems because, I'm sure it's always been around, but now it's more prevalent because we can see it in real time. We can Google the shit out of it, Instagram the shit out of it, and see people that were unhappy with a club, were unable to be that man, call it what you will, that man, and just be like, look, you guys are fucked up. It's not for me. I'm going to leave and go somewhere else correctly. They did shit backwards, and they created an issue, and they wanted beef, and they wanted, for lack of a better term, they wanted conflict. And now some of us are, some of these clubs are in that situation now. And I guess there's so many, that's just one example. By no means is that all of them, but it's just kind of like part of what causes conflict. There's lots of different reasons for conflict. We've already went over most of them. Something I love talking about, like with Jace. Jace is a good example. Like, he talks about clubs and riding and his, desire not to be a part of that. And most of the crew that he rides with not to be a part of that. And some of the issues they've had with clubs or some of the reasons why they don't want to do club stuff. And he has the reason I bring him up is just, he has a really great take on it that even as a club person, you would have to respect because of the way he says it and articulates it. But is the violence the uptick that we're kind of seeing right now, is that going to cost us members? Like, are we shooting ourselves in the foot? Or I guess I can't say we, because I don't wear a patch anymore, but are clubs shooting themselves in the foot for real positive growth with this drama? Or are clubs always going to attract dudes and numbers and shit like that? And it doesn't matter if you're fighting today, tomorrow, or not. I worry that it's going to hurt the community more than it's going to do or accomplish anything else. But that's my opinion.
I think that it's not going to harm the club because people who want to be part of that club are going to be part of that club.
Sure.
If you have what it takes to make it through their specific prospect or probate period and meet all the requirements and be accepted, you're going to be in that club. I think that everybody has an idea of what could possibly go wrong, right? And this isn't a fucking, Monday to Sunday thing. Do
you think though the number of people seeking membership will go down?
Huh?
Do you think the number of people seeking membership will go down?
Yeah, but I think it's going to be for the better. I think it's going to be for those people that want the notoriety. They want the sexiness of that legendary patch. I think those people are going to be slower to approach those kind of clubs. But I don't think it's going to help them weed out the people that don't belong anyways.
But is it going to weed out okay, hang on. Is it going to weed out and again, I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm just different aspects of it, different avenues to look at. Is it going to weed out people that just wanted a sexy historical patch or whatever? Is it going to weed out people that were good brothers but aren't willing? I don't know, say aren't willing, but okay, aren't willing. They would prefer not to die for dumb shit. And I don't want to trivialize what clubs that are having conflict are feeling. That's not my business at all. But I think, look, be honest with yourselves. Sometimes it's dumb shit. And is it increasingly dumb shit? Not my call to make, but somebody could say that. And so are you losing good people that would be good brothers because they don't want to take that chance? Fuck them. As a hardcore club, then are you like, fuck them anyway? Because they, a dumb reason or a legit reason. If you can't be in it, then fuck off. I get that point too. And then the third part of that, so the three categories, are you going to attract more heavy hitters, dudes that want to be that head banging dude because that's what's in the news and that's what they're seeing on social media and all that shit? Like, are you going to get more of those dudes who maybe their heart isn't in riding. Their heart isn't in late night beers with the brothers. Like their heart is in being a badass motherfucker and kicking as much ass as possible. Sure, you need some of those guys, but are you going to be bringing in just those guys?
You know who I hope it attracts mostly? Is motherfuckers that don't want conflict, that openly are like, hey, let's stop and think about this, not like reaction. I hope that that's the kind of motherfucker that it attracts, is the people that are willing to stop, take a minute, analyze the situation, and then make a plan moving forward, regardless of what it is. I hope that that's the kind of person that it attracts. I don't want to see a bunch of fucking knuckle draggers that are just fucking like, nope, this dude's got a fucking blue motorcycle today, so I'm going to beat his ass. Hotheads don't do good for anybody.
I don't know. I mean, you need everything. You need a little bit of everything, but you can't have just that dude that wants to beat you up for the blue motorcycle.
And you can't have just the dude that wants to stop and think everything through first.
Yeah.
Like you said, you have to have that good mix.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's just our opinion. You know, if you want to fucking build a club that's nothing but fucking MMA fighters with extremely severe PTSD from the war, fucking do it, man. I wish you guys the best of luck. Just follow fucking tradition and protocol. That's all I ask. Right. And then even with that, you could tell me to go fuck myself. It's not really going to affect my day at all. I don't know, man. I just, I am kind of disheartened with some of the stuff that I've been seeing lately, but.
All right. We're back. Are you back? I'm back.
Oh, well, you never left. So, well, I was
you cut out on me for a minute. All right, good. So we didn't lose any of this. I was like, oh man, if we lost this recording, I'm gonna be so upset.
Yeah, an hour's worth, right?
And it's like good stuff too.
Like, it is disheartening to see what all's going on and shit. But at the end of the day, man, I'm sure that there's stuff that we don't know about that led up to certain situations, and it's none of our fucking business.
100% agree. I think that there's, just again, reading the news articles. Again, let's just say that the public information we have access to, reading the news articles, I think sometimes there's a dude that needs his fucking ass beat, and I'm all for that. And then it's like, okay, that's one, like, yeah, man, that dude needs his ass beat. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, he didn't. He got shot. Like, oh, too far. And and I'm not trying to make a joke out of it, but it's like, that's the issue is like how you, just because in your mind it should only be a fist fight doesn't mean everybody is going to feel the same way that you do. And they don't have to, but I'm just saying, like, that's the thing, is like, there's generally some people out there that need their ass kicked and then it escalates because that person that got his ass kicked might come back with a gun. And so maybe you need to be the first person with a gun. I don't know. Might not even
be the guy that got his ass beat. Might be one of his brothers.
Yeah.
It might be somebody from an adjacent club that feels that they want to fucking prove their loyalty to the other club, whatever. I mean, there's a million different scenarios.
And it's not,
honestly, it's case by case.
And it's not club specific. I think that, or I'm sorry, not club specific, but like motorcycle MC stuff only. Like, there's people, again, because we have access to it on the internet, there's people that get fired and come back with a gun and shoot the place up. And the same shit happens in dentist office and unfortunately schools, and motorcycle clubs are not this bubble where the normal everyday problems of society aren't going to bleed into motorcycle clubs. They absolutely will. And I will say, though, that while it is more prevalent than it has been in the last few years, it's nowhere near the totality or the entire body of motorcycle clubs. There's still far more good than the bullshit, but the bullshit is always going to take center stage. It's like when people talk about politics and they say, well, the silent majority is outshouted by the violent minority. I agree with that. Whatever your stance is, that's absolutely true. And the same thing is now with clubs. That violent minority portion that happens is what people are going to focus on.
Yeah, and that's just a sad truth.
And this podcast isn't going to get you to put your differences aside and break bread. I don't ask you. I would never ask clubs to do that because who the fuck are you? Like, I don't even have legislative power to change motorcycle law. So it's not even like I'm out there campaigning for shit that you should listen to me. It's just another
perspective. I vote for Gangbang Dave, just to be clear.
It's try this bullshit again, Dave.
It's try this bullshit again, Dave. But I'm just saying, I would move to Wisconsin and register to vote for Gangbang Dave.
Yeah, and hopefully that this platform can just be a fucking think tank, and you can get in the comments and please don't call us faggots, because then YouTube will censor us. I probably shouldn't have even said that example because YouTube will censor us. But get in the comments and this is a think tank. Like, what do you see? What do you don't be like, well, Club A and B in my neighborhood. But how do you, like, how do you feel? Like, if you're in a club, like, is this something that you consider? Is this something that affects your day to day? Do you have a solution? If you have a solution, put it somewhere. Put it on the 4 for the Road page. Put it on your IG. Put it in the comment section on our YouTube. Put it somewhere so people can field test this theory that you have on how to solve the world's problems.
Hey, 100%, man. And I'm gonna pick up for Dave here. So we're at about an hour right now, and but seriously though, if you do have like this is an open discussion piece. So if you guys got something to say out in listener land, fucking hit us up. I'm pretty horrible with responding to the YouTube comments, but luckily for me, there's not a whole lot anyway.
It's because we don't do video. I feel like if we did video like Jace does when he does a podcast, or like, had videos of us riding like Two Land Life does, our membership on YouTube, our interactions, our subscribership, our comments would be more than the page, more than 4 for the Road Instagram, more than 4 for the Road Facebook. I really believe that would be our largest platform. But I can be riding and take a picture of myself, and that's totally fine. I cannot bring to the platform club riding because I don't have the permission of everybody in that fucking club to do that. And so the only thing that we're ever able to really use, for the most part, with some exceptions, is like historic shit or shit that's old or already happened. Like,
or just us.
Yeah, I can't bring you in the moment club stuff because you literally, if you're going to do it the right way, should have the permission of fucking everybody. And it's just not realistic for the type of shit that we do. So
yeah. I mean, if we're going to start doing like YouTube lives and stuff like that, I need to lose a couple pounds.
Right.
First,
right. Yeah. So, I mean, we can like describe to you what I'm wearing. Like, yeah.
It's nothing, by the way. He's
absolutely nothing. So the whole point of this
OnlyFans after this episode.
The whole point of this podcast was just, like you said, a think piece that, what, rather than ignoring the elephant in the room, let's talk about it. Violence is increasing. That's a fact. It's unfortunate fact. It is not the entire body of work that the motorcycle culture is putting out there, fact. But what are some discussions around it? And in 2021, with technology being what it is, how many fights are on film nowadays? I've seen club shootings on film within the last 2 months. I've seen club fights on film within the last 2 weeks. And if it's not on someone's cell phone, video cameras are everywhere. And then somebody runs a request to get that from the investigation, and then that gets published. So this is all stuff that's publicly out there. Let's, instead of ignoring it, let's have a proper discussion on it where, we're, like I said, not using names, not using business. We did use one very common prevalent name of a guy that's making the rounds. But again, in a few cases, we gave you our opinions, but for the most part, I tried to say stuff that maybe I don't even necessarily agree with, stuff that I think is stupid personally, but I want to say it so that you can have, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. And let me put that in there too, because Ken doesn't have the right answer. I don't have the right answer. Probably nobody does, but it's at least something worth having a respectful conversation about, because there's very few of you that I want to see dead. A couple, but very few. And I feel bad. Maybe take that joke out. I don't know, or you can leave it. I don't know. I feel bad because some people have legitimately lost brothers to this, and I would in no way want to minimize that by making a joke. But my heart goes out to them because you can't bring that brother back, and And I would hate to see guys losing brothers that they love, because I have brothers that I love, and to lose one of them in any way would just be devastating. And you know what? We're not going to solve this shit tomorrow. Ken and I aren't going to solve this shit, but maybe somebody else can.
Yeah. Maybe. So you got any was that your closing thoughts? You got any last fuck yous you want to get out? Or
I felt like that was like that. Remember, you might be too young because you're younger than I am, but Jerry Springer at the end, like after everybody was done, like chucking chairs and choking shit and Klan members and midget strippers, like when all of that was done, he like sat in like a random chair with a spotlight on him on stage and like gave this deep intellectual thought about like loving other human beings. And I'm like, bro, you just had a Klan member chuck a black midget. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you lost all credibility right after the show started.
He's like spotlighted in this chair, like giving this really deep thought. I was like, all right, bro, whatever.
Yeah, man.
So that's all I got. I guess you got to do the shout out to our great sponsor.
Our sponsor is pretty fucking awesome.
Dude,
down in Leesburg, Florida.
Yeah, and they just gave away free beer at the was it Biketoberfest?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just gave away free beer. So hopefully they have that same thing going on for Daytona, because I know Ken and I will try to be out there for Daytona in March. So if they listen, what?
It'll be my last one.
Yeah. So if they listen, just planting the seed now, free beer is a phenomenal idea, and I really hope that they have round 2 of that.
Yes, and don't ever expect that at my house, because I don't beer.
Maybe they can be like, call it. Is there a way that we can like, hey, we'll sponsor you this year, and call it the 4 for the road, like free beer, something or another. I think we got time. We'll figure something out.
We'll figure it out. We'll call it the 4 free beers, and then everybody's like, "Let me get my 4 free beers," and they're like, "It's ounces."
Oh, but and you can only drink it on the road. It like comes in a little 4-ounce sippy cup, and you like drink it while you drive. I don't know. I'm promoting drinking and driving. I'm like, but it's cool, officer. It's 4 ounces. Okay. It's a whole joke. Don't worry. It's not illegal. Don't worry about it.
It's not drinking and driving, man. It's sipping and cruising. But hey, I do have one thing I want to talk about before we get out of here. And that is the fundraiser that I'm doing with blacksalessupply.com. 100% of the orders are contributing to buying 6 underprivileged families bicycles for the children this year for Christmas. It's running from the beginning of October to the end of November on Black Friday. So there are donation cards that you can buy there, where 100% of that will go to the fundraiser. All the orders, 75% of the profit goes towards purchasing these bicycles, and that includes shipping, handling, everything, right? That is getting them to the families off rip, right? So help me out. I know I got a tall order of 6 bikes. It's a lot, but help me out. I'm trying to buy quality fucking bikes here. I'm trying like mongoose level quality bikes. And
hey, what happened to my helmet?
Hey, fuck you. You told me that I could take the $15 that I raised for you and put it towards this. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Get a mon. You could probably get a mon. I don't know if it'll get you a whole goose, but you can at least get a mon with my money.
Well, hey, I'm looking at between here. So that's the only stipulation, is that it does have to be in the lower 48, because shipping is dumb trying to get it to Alaska or Hawaii. So I did it from shipping from, I think I did all 4 corners, and the average was about $45 for shipping because of the weight. So that was lame, but I'm also sure that it might be a little cheaper when it comes time to it, because I'm going to try to buy them on Black or Cyber Monday, right? So
yeah, you're not allowed to say Black Friday. You're white.
Okay, I apologize.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Yeah, our boy hit us up.
Buy these fucking bicycles for these poor kids, man. It's fucking awesome.
Cam just hit me up and said you can't say Black Friday.
Cam hit you up, said I can't say Black Friday?
Yeah.
But he doesn't really live in California either. He lives in the fucking Bay, and that's not really California. You live in Lower Oregon, goddamn.
All right, so I'm gonna text him and let him know that at 1 hour and like 13 minutes he gets a shout out.
Tell us a little before that. I got to take some stuff out first, but yeah.
You gotta edit. You're gonna edit this episode?
Because we had that thing where we got to run past tragic, make sure it's okay. We said.
No, he's fine with it. Leave it.
Okay. Never mind then. Hour 13 minutes.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like I started to go down a path where I was not going to say it correctly and it was going to like be bad. But then I feel like I brought the shit back and I was like, you know what? No, what I mean is when you put alphas together, like they're always going to butt heads. And I think he's got a good point with that. I think that there's always going to be big dick energy conflict. Is that BD? What is that? BDEC?
Oh, I just had an idea. All right, cool. So that's probably going to be on the website soon. Be like in Knuckles, but
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, dude, thanks so much for fucking hitting me up, man. I was not gonna lie, was kind of nervous. We went 2 weeks without an episode.
No, it's only been like a week since you posted one.
Huh?
It's only been like a week since you posted one.
Hasn't it?
I think so. Well, I mean, because you might have recorded it 2 weeks ago, but then by the time it got posted up, I think it's only been a week.
Wow.
But
all right. We're only a few days.
We got to do soon though. I'm hoping in a few weeks we'll do a Mama Tried one with so some of the guys that we know, like Josh and Mercenary, they're going to be going to Mama Tried. So I'd like to get them on. And then I've really been sweet talking Outcast Culture. Send them a lot of pics in my butthole, trying to get them to come on. I said I'm trying to get them before Jace. So, but I don't know if the butthole pics are sealing the deal or is the reason why they haven't been on yet. But we're still trying.
We are. We're gonna get some cool shit lined up. I mean, we've been talking about what we're gonna try to get in a couple months, and I think if we're able to land all that, it's gonna be pretty fucking rad. So once again, the media sucks. We're trying to get some cool shit for you guys in the future to listen to, and we're debating whether or not I can actually stick to a gym routine to lose a couple pounds to do some videos for you guys.
We're not debating that.
And no, I'm debating that.
Oh, okay.
Me and my 6 personalities. And we're doing a fundraiser to buy poor kids bicycles.
But apparently not me a helmet, so whatever.
Yeah. But don't worry, I took screenshots of this motherfucker telling me donate the $15 that I raised so far to this to my bicycles. So there you go. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget, go to Black Sales Supply. It's SAILS supply.com to help me out with that. Dave, thank you so much. And then
I'll see you later.
We'll take it easy, man.
If I leave the studio now, it's not gonna shit this fucking podcast out, is it? It'll save it.
No, because I'm fucking stupid, and I'm leaving this in there because I'm stupid. There's a setting that I can change that I did. So if you leave the studio, I'm fine.
All right, good. All right, I'm leaving then.